Good morning, y'all. It's Sunday morning. It's July 2nd, and it's 82 degrees out here right now. It's been very humid, very hot and humid, and I just checked the weather. It said it's only going to get up to 91 degrees today, which is kind of surprising because it's been so hot. Like, the wind has just been hot. It's been miserable. You've got to be in the water if you're going to be outside because it's just so oppressively hot. So I haven't done hardly anything in the garden at all. Of course, VBS turned out really great. We had a lot of kids accept Jesus as their Savior, which was so exciting. And we had just a ton of fun too. I mean, just singing songs and praising God. It was an awesome week. And we're already looking forward to next year where we just can't wait. And you know what? It's going to be great because we're going to have a whole year to plan it. So I'm excited about that. But I'm going to show y'all what I've been doing. And it hasn't been very much. But, you know, the garden has been growing without me. So come along. I'll show you. I left the sprinkler here so I could show you just kind of where I put it. And I had not arranged it right. And some of the stuff in the front didn't get watered, like these blue bonnets, and you can see the poor little things, they turned brown and just started to shrivel up. And last night I came and specifically watered them and they bounced back. So they are really impressive and tough plants. But I've repotted. I had a few minutes and I repotted this grass right here in a bigger pot, and I did it for this one too. This one's called raspberry something. But look at these cute little inflorescences that are coming out. Don't you love just the spikiness of these grasses? I needed to have more grasses because, you know, whenever you look at British gardens, they've always got some things that will move in the wind and just give the garden a little bit of movement and fun and just kind of airiness. So I've worked to add a few more little grasses and get some different kind of stuff in there. And this Carex is looking like it needs a haircut. You can see this little Everillo Carex. It's got some brown edges on it, but I rearranged these pots slightly. I'm really enjoying them. I had to now, Jo from Jo's Texas Garden, she grows the most amazing geraniums. And so I bought some, and they didn't like it. They were in these pots right here, and I had to yank them out and throw them away. So what I'm going to do is add some more of that lemon sedum on the other side here and let it do what it did last time where it grew over the edges. So I have some that I just kind of threw out, and it's growing in the ground somewhere else. And I'm going to put those in there. Something that has been kind of impressing me, because I was concerned. It looked so great when I first bought it, and this was at Mother's Day, you know, and it was this buddleia. And look at it. Look how it's got all these blooms on it. Now I need to come in here and trim off the old things. But it's actually looking pretty good. This is like the best buddleia I've ever owned. So I think it was called like butterfly candy. It may stay small. I just love this section right here. It's just making me so happy. And then of course we've got the wishbone flower right here that's just mounding and looking lovely. You can hardly tell that's even in a pot. And these teeny tiny miniature vinca flowers. These colors. Is that not just fun? Something else that I did when I had a few minutes is I cut down the tangerine tree. It was behind the bog garden right there, and it was dead and dying. So I cut it down because it was just looking it just made everything look really sad. And the bog garden is doing pretty well. The ginger plant, that thing just makes me so happy when the sun is hitting it. Oh yeah, let's look at this verbena, because this verbena that just decided to just live here Isn't it neat? So now that that tree is gone, I'm really excited about the possibilities and what I can do with this little space right here. I still want to make it a white way of delight, which is very difficult to do with this Tithonia growing like 7 feet tall right here. That's not very white. But it sure is delightful for the butterflies, I gotta tell you. Oh, this is where I was gonna show you. So I threw some of that lemon sedum right here, and it's like growing. And you know, every once in a while an armadillo will come along and dig around this area. You can even see holes there. But somehow this sedum has lived, and I've got like quite a few bits of it in there. So I'm gonna dig that up and put that in some pots. And so what's cool is when you get that lemon sedum, like, you can keep making more of it. I mean, you will never not have it again. This kale has got to go. Look at that. Gross. I mean, it is like a concession stand for wasps, though, because it was just covered in caterpillars, and then the wasps came along and found them. So I thought, you know, we'll let them keep eating this stuff. Oh, can you see how sparkly the Cleome is with the dew? Oh, so lovely. Oh no, the Dusty Miller has not even gotten an opportunity to bloom. It has turned into an icky, gooey mess. Yuck. That's sad. I'll have to cut that back. But wow, this Desdemona is covered in buds. Like, I'm talking about covered. It has just been going and going and going. This must be its happiest place right here. It's living so happily right here. I'm still waiting on the Joe Pye weed to burst forth into bloom. Don't you love it though? I love the stems. The stems are red, and yeah, it's very architectural. It couldn't hold up every bit of itself. I probably shouldn't have given it as much fertilizer when I potted it up. It probably doesn't need it. Yeah, this is the view from the kitchen window, and now it's starting to look like a secret garden that has been abandoned. I'm sure it kind of feels abandoned a little bit. But yeah, this week hopefully I'll have an opportunity to get out here and play and do some rearranging. This summer romance rose did look gorgeous from the kitchen window until it just got beat down. Here's something. Oh, here's something fabulous. Yes, there. Look at that. That makes all this octopus kind of craziness worth it. Yeah, I do really love it when you can hardly tell that everything's in containers. That's when it just looks like a real garden. And the poor fountain is hardly flowing. I got to get out here, and I like to spray water kind of down in the thing because some goo has gotten in there probably, and it's kind of blocking it. But what I wanted to show you is this bubblegum Supertunia. It really is a Supertunia. It just will cover up everything and fill in the spaces. And I did not know it, but this one right here, that's in this pot right here, that's one from last year. So it had grown like this, and it had gotten scraggly, and then I had noticed that in the center of it, it had some regrowth. So I cut all the scraggly stuff back, and I kept it through the winter. So this stuff, maybe you only ever have to buy it once. If you can just keep it from freezing, you may be able to have it. Well, I'm going to see how long I can keep it. How many years will a bubblegum Supertunia live? Stay tuned. And it's such a surprise that this little container has turned out so sweetly, because I had these two zinnia plants that they just looked like they were going to die. They just struggled and were pathetic. And look, I've got this wild petunia that had fallen in there, and the pentas, but somehow they survived, and now they're starting to fill out, and they just look so happy together. That's just making me happy to be able to see that. Welcome to the jungle. I'm so glad I don't have to see that dead tangerine tree right there in the what I would call skyline anymore. I'm still waiting for this dahlia to bloom. It's looking like it could be like the Bishop of Canterbury. That's what I'm guessing. And with the dahlias that I planted, I'm down to 6 containers. I used 4 of the containers that didn't come up and put those grasses in it. So now I have these 6 that look like, well, 5 of them look like they're doing pretty well. And then this one is looking pathetic and sad. I don't know if it's being attacked. It does look like it is. Probably army worms have gotten it. But these are so robust, they've been able to survive any sort of attacks. The cat whiskers is blooming. I still have it in the original pot from when I bought it at Kim's. I've got to pot it up. You know what? I will probably put it in that container where that lame dahlia is. And these rudbeckia are so phenomenal. And I think they make me so happy because I started them from seed also. I mean, they're just blooming like crazy and growing out of control, which makes me just so happy. And then this one bloomed finally, and it's pink. That makes me happy. I was concerned that it was going to be that red one. So this little area right here has been such a cheery little spot, and it has had some armadillo damage, but nothing has been like dug up and thrown aside. It's just like random holes here and there. So I'm very thankful for that. And we have Morning Glory on the fence. It's the Grandpa Ott, that purple. Oh, I love it. I even love the rudbeckia with this vinca. It's just a cheerful little plant. So this globe basil has got to go. It's got a ton of seeds on it though. So yesterday I was out here and I was pulling them and I was just tossing them everywhere in the front yard. So I hope I have a bunch of them come up, but I was going to show you. Don't you love the smell of basil? I mean, don't you just love it? I wish I could wear it for like a perfume because it's just so, oh, it smells so good. In fact, I wonder if they put basil scent in colognes and stuff because, oh, I want to wear it. Oh, it smells just so yummy and fresh. Look at all those seeds. Fabulous. It's so generous. A generous plant. The lavender is still alive. It looks pathetic, but look, a bee even wants it. So it's still, you know, I wouldn't say living its best life. I probably need to cut these little flowers off. But see, it's done the thing that they always do. It gets like really brown there. And I just can't keep it from, you know, we got a ton of rain and then we haven't had any rain. And I have turned the sprinkler on this stuff. So, you know, it's going to get wet. It's going to get watered. This is just not the area for it. But I enjoy the front yard probably more than the back because I sit on the front porch a lot, and I see more butterflies out here than I even do in the backyard. I guess because I'm probably out here more. But they have really loved these cone flowers. They have, I mean, they're just drawn to them like a moth to a flame. And oh, I wanted to show you these asters. I took a close-up of them earlier. I started these asters from seed, and look, it couldn't hold itself up. It fell over. But look at the flowers. Look how they just glow. Aren't they? I don't know why they just didn't do well. Maybe they had too much fertilizer also. You know, I might have encouraged them to live and grow too much. But I'm loving them. I can just imagine having a jillion of them. That would be, you know how I want a jillion of everything. I love that yellow centers. And this is where I see the majority of the hummingbirds now. They adore Amistad salvia. I mean, just it is their favorite. See those flowers? They are full of the sweetest nectar. I mean, you can drink them yourself and see how tasty they are. This is my favorite kind of zinnia. It looks like a little pom-pom. That is, I'm gonna definitely save seeds from that because I want a jillion. I didn't know how much I was gonna enjoy this little birdhouse, but it's just too cute. It's such an eye-catching little thing, and of course, you know, if you haven't seen Rock City, you really should because it's a lot of fun. We've been up there a couple of times, and we always seem to go when you can't see off Lookout Mountain, like it's just foggy, but that really adds to the mystique of the place. I'm so thankful that everywhere I look, I see evidence that it rained last night because we desperately needed some rain. It had gotten so dry and so hot. Beautyberry bush is making beautyberries. They're green now, but they will turn a luscious, shiny purple. Look at how teeny tiny the flowers are. You know the bees probably love those. Did you know that this right here, this sunflower, the spirals in it correspond to the Fibonacci sequence? It's a mathematical sequence of numbers, and it's just too incredible that here it is in this sunflower right now. If we counted the spirals, the clockwise and counterclockwise spirals of this sunflower, we would come out to a pair of numbers that are in the Fibonacci sequence, which is just so incredible. It's math, y'all, right here. I was looking at a picture in a gardening magazine recently, and it reminded me, because I was thinking about the rule of thirds, it reminded me of some math that I had learned about called fractals, and how they can be seen in nature. And then, so when I went and looked it up, and I found an incredible video on YouTube called The Secret Code of God by Dr. Jason Liesel. And it is so interesting to find out about the mathematical properties that are actually in almost anything that you can see in nature. But especially like in lightning and sunflowers and ferns and snowflakes, and I would just recommend that video. It is really neat. Now, of course, he even says at the first few seconds, because it's about math, that it's a little hard to comprehend at the very, very beginning, like the first minute or two. But then after that, it is such a revelation and just amazing. If you've ever taken a photography class or art, you've been taught about composition and probably about the picturesque. And if you will notice, that's the way things are supposed to be. The rule of thirds is very pleasing to the eye, because in nature, it's not even. It's a fractal. Almost everything you come across is a pattern that is replicating, and it looks like, I mean, you can just see it right here. Everything here, a leaf branches off. It branches off from that. It starts there and replicates over and over again. And with the picturesque, you want to have a foreground and a middle ground and a background. And you want to have things divided up into thirds, never equal, because that's jarring. That just doesn't happen in nature. There aren't two perfect parallels of anything. And that would really stand out as something that's man-made or something that's not natural. Things that aren't natural are disturbing, and things that are natural are more pleasing to the eye. But you know, I do love symmetry. I love it. But even when I try to do something symmetrical, when it's growing especially, it's never perfectly the same, and that's a good thing. Once you know about fractals, you will see them everywhere, and you will start to appreciate God way more deeply and intimately. There's beauty everywhere. We can still walk with God in the garden. I found this nest in the Publix parking lot a couple of weeks ago, and I picked it up because it was just like interesting. The closer you look at it, the more interesting it becomes, because you can see the nest has been made of, you see the chunks right there, that white right there? That is a cigarette filter, and they're plastic. I don't know if, I used to smoke a long time ago, and I had never littered, but I thought that cigarette butts were just paper, and that they would, or cotton. I don't know what I thought they were, and so I would throw those out the window, and I didn't consider it to be littering, because I thought, you know, that they would break down, but no, they're made of plastic also. So it is littering to throw out a cigarette butt, and thank God he saved me from smoking. I'm so grateful, because that was horrific. I was really addicted to cigarettes. I mean, I had to have them. And he miraculously took that away from me, and I'm so thankful that he did. But here are some other pieces of plastic in the nest, and paper. This bird has recycled a lot of trash that it has found and made a home, or it did make a home, and then it must have blown out of a tree. But on one hand, it's just like making treasure out of trash, and on the other hand, it is sad. It's sad that these nasty materials are sitting around and for birds to find. Thank y'all so much for visiting my jungle with me. I hope that y'all have been having a great summer, and that you'll have a fabulous 4th of July. And I hope it's going to be filled with fun and barbecue and family and friends. And I can't wait to see y'all next week. And God bless you. Let's play outside, y'all. Bye.